put out another ping just to let everyone know where we're at. And yeah, man, I'll uh, I'll give you the floor.
I appreciate it. Thank you. I want to say thank you for having me, CryptoMonks. I have been a member of this wonderful project. Prior to Mint, I was lucky enough to answer a quick and easy question versus going through the temple. I did try and complete a lot of the temple questions, but I did find it pretty challenging. To be 100% honest, those puzzles and the images, although very challenging, were also kind of like, what am I even doing here? But I respect it. I respect all of you who completed it as well, because it was one of those projects that really made me realize that there was so much more than just hype and speculation, but it actually provided like a fundamental, like a base for kind of weathering the storm and utilizing people's fortitude to be like, all right, well, if you're really meant to be, you'll find your way through higher hell water, and I appreciated that, and that's what keeps me as part of the community as well. All that being said, I do represent Hustle. It is a SaaS-based business on the blockchain. What we're trying to solve is really trying to give people time and money back, in the sense that we are actually one of the few NFT projects that you can actually raise a floor on your own, because it's an actual business that you can invest in. So we always focus on two things: it's either time or money. But what we're doing is we have 500 pre-built businesses that are SaaS based, that actually takes existing businesses and applies them and wraps them up in a mobile app. And the real advantage of this is that, one, you're selling to other businesses, so it's not sensitive to the market as much as it is selling to direct to consumers. And we're actually providing real value, because when you allow businesses to do mobile apps, you get direct information and direct contact to them using push notifications. And the information and the way they deal with your site is all visible to you in terms of the data. So, all that being said, this is what we're doing to kind of change the landscape of what is currently in the ecosystem for both NFTs, as well as exposing people to uh, uh, the way businesses are. And I apologize, this gets to be a little bit boring sometimes, and I'll try to make this a little bit more snazzy. Pyro, you can interject at will if you feel like I'm stumbling. But to be honest, the biggest thing for me, for you guys, is that I want to make this as least salesy as possible and as much utility and value in terms of the presentation. So what's advantage of this business is, if you ever try to sell a business or buy a business, the due diligence that's required is a lot of speculation. It's a lot of auditing. Sometimes it's even deeper with, you have like, you have to hire a consultant to do a little bit of forensic auditing to make sure that the investment and the things that you're buying into are actually true. We eliminate all of that by basically putting that on the blockchain. All of the business is actually laid down with a stablecoin that's been created by our founder, Jonathan Bodner. And what he's done is actually allowed that all the income from Web 2 gets stored onto the blockchain utilizing the stablecoin, and gets recorded. And then any revenue that's generated is actually, it's put back into the business, is also recorded on the blockchain. So, taking a step back, what does this really mean? Jonathan Bodner is our founder. He's been doing SaaS-based businesses for over 10 years, I think 13 years. He was actually, what started off for him is that he did web design and website building, and he realized that he could make a lot of money because he was actually homeless at 19. And he's like, I need to do something more than what I'm doing in my life, because this is not it, and I want to change my life. And he did it, and he became a multimillionaire, buying and, I'm sorry, excuse me, building and selling his businesses over and over again. So what he wanted to do is, he's a very faith-based person, and what he realized too is that in his time of homelessness, he actually realized that giving was the way to go. And so throughout his entire time of managing and buying these businesses and building them and selling them, is that he's always tithed, he's always given back, he's always had a heart of relative gold in the sense that he's always made sure to give back to both communities, to church, to organizations. Our project Hustle has given over $40,000 in charity and giveaways to organizations for nonprofit as well as just organizations as a whole, just to make sure that as much money as he's made, he wants to keep that going. And he honestly believes that you make a lot more when you actually give as much as you can. It comes back and 10x. So what we've done recently is we've actually airdropped 80 businesses and previously launched 20 beta businesses to give us an idea of is this proof of concept working? And after 3 months since we launched it in late December, early January, we're actually seeing customers bring in $300-400 in revenue. I think one cumulatively has brought it in over $800 to date. And how we're able to do all of that is using a thing called flat rate customers or guaranteed customers. If you want to pay, it's roughly about $300, and you allow our sales team to basically go out of our way, utilizing the proven businesses and the sales and marketing funnel that Jonathan has built over his 13 years. We then apply it to your business and start building recurring revenue because the businesses, as they are subscription based. And then we also do organic growth as well. So I guess the question is what questions do you have for me, given I've gone over a whole bunch of information and probably haven't taken a pause or break for you guys to digest it? And I did drop the hustle.xyz if you want to kind of take a look at it as well while I've been going over it. We're super excited about it mainly because it's just one of those businesses and one of those opportunities with NFTs to actually, one, break away from your 9 to 5 because it's going to be, again, passive revenue that's coming in from, with capital assets or capital coming in from the businesses, and then you can either take that money and tithe it and put it away and save it, or you can put it back into the business. But either way, the customers that come in will pay once and they'll pay again month over month to actually drive you revenue, similar to how you would if you owned real estate, if you owned another side business or hustle, and had customers coming in.
What kind of subscription-based businesses are doing best with the platform you guys have built out?
Well, that's a great question. So we have 50 niches. The three businesses that are doing the best right now are charity app. That one is basically reaches out to nonprofit organizations and helps them. It's actually probably closest to the original model that Jonathan created, which was a church-based app. So what both of these things do is it allows um, nonprofit organizations, churches to talk to their community and let them know of upcoming events and upcoming things. So that's been super eventful and it's been profitable. We actually have a business called Coach App now. What's kind of unique about this is he's probably done the best, but again, this project and this business is based off of either time or money or both. So he's done. He's actually invested and bought a whole ton of flat rate customers and the organic growth. But he actually has gone out of his way to go and market on Twitter, market on Instagram. He has a personal network that he's also reached out to, and he's gotten involved in the project, and they've done very well. So Coach App as well. And then we actually have quite a few other businesses. I'm just thinking of. Let me look at the leaderboard real quick, just to give you accurate information. Um, let's see who's in third. So when you buy this business, you actually get a platform that helps you have analytics. It tells you all of your marketing and all the different efforts that are going on, as well as giving you a little bit of a preview of what the team is doing behind the scenes. So you actually have marketing that comes out of the box. So whether that's for your website, your blog, your social media, it comes preset and built with that. And then looking at the leaderboard, the other business that's on top besides Coach App and uh, Coach App, and of course it's not working. because I entered the wrong thing. Would be, I think it's either restaurant app, or it's. Do you remember, Pyro, what the third one is?
Mm, Horse app.
Which one?
Horse app.
Course app. Sorry. So that's like basically online courses, and so you can either sell your own marketing, your own like any type of educational courses that you have. Course app has been, yeah, definitely has a lot of leads and sales going to it as well. So those are the three top businesses.
And did they already have like sales funnels in place, or was the, I guess, the add-on like how they used your guys' systems to like create all those funnels?
So to answer that question, these were all brand new businesses that were given to our business owners. So they were all pre-built businesses that were airdropped on in November, late like mid-December, and did market it. So they all started from scratch, and it basically is built off of the marketing funnel that's created by the team. So it was a
Very
kind of,
cool.
yeah, it literally was kind of an adventure in the sense that we had all the experience and the knowledge, but we actually started it from scratch because utilizing experience and opportunity, because it was more unique in that it was a lot bigger than the existing church-based app that we had and business before. So we had to open up that so that we could talk about these different niches in a way that made
That's
sense.
It's really what Jonathan wanted to do, the founder. So, he went from 19 homeless to a multimillionaire before he turned 30. And so it took him about 7 years to go through everything, and a lot of trial and error, what works, what doesn't. And so basically, if you want to look at it that way, it's kind of like somebody's done all the not all, because we all know everything changes, but a lot of the trial and error, to where he was confident in the fact, because he started his own Web2 business, which that they did this. Sean, I'm getting a little bit of feedback on your mic. Sorry.
Okay, no, I can mute myself. No worries.
Anyway, that sorry, now I lost my train of thought. Anyway, he had gone through all of this stuff, trial and error, and then he had built these and knew that he could do it because that's how his Web2 business worked. And so Apollo has been up and running for about 7 or 8 years now. And that's when he got into the Web3 space. He was like, most of these things are a joke. And it's true, because he got in, in like 2021 and stuff. So when he started realizing a lot of people didn't have a full-on business model where you had actual revenue, as a revenue stream coming in that makes it a revolving door, then it's more just like, oh, you have mint money. Oh, what can you do with it? And if you're not multiplying it, then of course somebody becomes the exit liquidity, and that's just how it goes. We all know it. So he called, he had this thought, and then he called me one day and he's like, how can we make this work? And so we sat down for about 4 hours the first day, and just really like hammered some stuff out. And that was almost a year ago. So we started out in May of last year. And so, yeah, we've really, really done a lot. And the fact that he had already had so many years of prior experience of, like I said, trial and error to weed out what works and what doesn't work, that was the beauty in it. So he also has a guy on our sales team that took a lot of similar type SaaS products from pretty much nothing to the millions in a very short amount of time and stuff. So I don't know if any of you've ever looked into SaaS products or kind of how those businesses work, but it's an exponential J curve. So of course it does take, like any business, it does take a little bit to get them started, but it's not crazy long. And then the amount of return that you start getting is just insane when it takes off. And so the other beauty of everything is it's kind of as hands-on or hands-off as you'd like. So as a business owner, you don't have to do anything as far as if your client that you've sold to, or Apollo sold to, or however you got that client. If they had an issue, there is chat that they go to. It's called Intercom, and then the team handles it. So as a business owner, you don't have to do any customer service. You don't have to be available. All that is handled for you. And all of the software updates and stuff, because we all know how fast technology is, all of that is handled. And so, yeah, there's very little that you have to do. But if you do want to make some calls or utilize your network if you have one and you want to sell to people, you also have that option as well.
Yeah, we actually created a funnel where there'll be leads inside of in the platform, the dashboard, that you can actually have a script as well as information about them. And if you wanted to cold call, or sorry, not cold call, apologies. If you wanted to call them because they are actually warm leads, they've gone through our sales funnel, and you can actually close them yourself. And so again, to Pyro's point, it's kind of a cool thing. You can get hands on as much as you want, learn about the business, and when you feel like you've done enough, you can just turn it back over to the Husl team, and we'll take care of everything else.
Yeah, and you can do stuff simultaneously as well. If you pay for organic growth, we'll be doing that, but that doesn't stop you from being able to make things and post and make as many sales as you want. But say you want to go on vacation, or you want to take, every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday off, you can, and then it's no big deal. So it's just one of those things. Your guaranteed customer rate is cheaper if you do organic growth as well. So there's a lot of benefits, and a lot of people are saying, just to get things off the ground, they're definitely diving into the organic growth, because obviously it's pretty smart to get it off the ground as fast as possible, because of course then your curve runs a little bit slower in time frame. Also, I'll just keep I'm sorry, I'm just like over here just chatting away. There's a couple more things that we've done that have really grown our community and your, I guess, base of people in which that you would be exposed to. And that is, if you guys haven't heard of it, we run a show every Monday called Effed by NFTs. And it is ran by JB, Jonathan, the founder, Shal, myself, and Brando from ATS. And basically, we just highlight a really kick-butt project in the space that's doing stuff really well, good promises, and has a business model, and they're actually making headway and innovating in the space. And then we also kind of tell people how to stay away from some of the red flags, warnings, and things like that. So we had the Killer Bears on last week. And so that was episode 9? Yes, I think so. So anyway, we continually grow. We usually have in between 400 to all the way up to 800 people in those spaces. So our audience definitely grows every single week. And then we also will be dropping kind of a side project, which is a service marketplace. And that mints it mints the 27th. I don't even know what day it is at this point. Anyway.
It's March 27th. I'll drop the link in as well for people.
Do what?
I'll drop the link in the chat. You can keep talking.
So,
just let me know.
So yeah, so those are the ways why we think that will help us. It's a pretty low cost entry point. And then we all do raids as communities and things like that. So what you'll be able to do is you'll be able to post gigs, and if you have any kind of talent that maybe somebody else would prefer, somebody who either has been in Web3 or whatnot. The other thing is it will have a ratings and review system in it. So I don't know how it is for everyone in here because I don't know you personally, but whenever you are kind of a standout person in the community, or you've been on a team, or you're a founder, or any of the above, your DMs typically blow up with somebody like, how can I find somebody to do this for me, and this and that and this and that. And so it's a little bit who you know in the space and kind of what your reputation is there. It's sort of hard for anyone else on the outside if they haven't heard of you or they don't know anything like this. It's not as easy to connect those dots sometimes. So we felt like this would just be another way to actually link up and then get out there a little bit more, get people more exposure and ways to make money in Web3, keep money in Web3, and set a foundation for doing what they love. That way they can kind of expand because, like Shao was saying, that's what Hustle is all about, and hoodies is just going to further that. So, yeah, we just wanted to give people a way to make money, have a cash flow asset that frees them up to do what it is that they love the most. So that's how it all kind of rolls together.
Yeah, and then the reason why I'm coming to Crypto Monks is obviously as a community member, I found so much value with PJ, with the entire team, with the community about learning about forex and NFT flipping and trading, liquidity pools. I mean, there's just so much value and knowledge here that I felt that hey, I think this would be a good synergy with regards to like the people that are here who are looking to actually build and grow themselves as well as an opportunity to be entrepreneurs. And then even then, we just released hoodies, so I know a lot of you. We have a job marketplace inside of this Discord, but this the one we're building is going to be agnostic, and we're looking to have all the different projects. We have 14 preferred projects. I mean, sorry, preferred partners or project partners that will be utilizing the marketplace and helping extend the distribution and the communities and growth, so that we can, get as many people in as possible because we just really find it to be a lot of utility because there's not a lot of places that you can go to without having kind of running into a bit of friction resistance. One of the cool parts that I love that Jonathan's kind of revealed over the past couple weeks is not only do you have your gig and do you have ratings and reviews, but you also have essentially your resume, and that resume can be broken down into a link that when you apply for a gig, you can post it on social media. You can post in other discords. It just really gives you a solid framework, similar like LinkedIn or Indeed. Again, we like to think of this as kind of the Web three of the Fiverr Web three, and just adding more value. And the other part about all of this is when you talk about the hustle ecosystem as a greater good, is the fact that you can actually see how they can interrelate with the business owners, hiring people, whether they utilize the raids, whether they utilize people who have services that they're looking for. It just provides a platform for more exchange and building something that we're all looking for, which is onboarding people and driving it in a sustainable and meaningful way. But that being said, I think we kind of covered most of it. If you have any specific questions, we're obviously here. As you can tell, Pyro is my better half, and she definitely. I like to think she has a sweeter voice as well, but depends on what you like to listen to and how you like to listen to things. Any questions?
I actually don't have anything. I had a bunch of questions written down, but I feel like you guys have pretty much covered everything I was going to ask, anyways. Um, but yeah, if can you tell us a little bit more about hoodies? That I had a little look at the website. I like what I see. I know you just touched on it briefly just then. If can you give us a bit more information on that?
Yeah. So what the really cool part is really it's a service or skills marketplace for people to come in, learn more about Web three. Our goal was to really set a platform for people to um, utilize their skills, their passions to make money in Web3 and help them facilitate that by having a profile that they can create, interact, and work with founders, creators, influencers who are looking for services to help drive and push their goals and amplify their presence. Um, the unique part of that is that it works at two levels. You can do it in a general sense and just look to hire anyone, and you can pay them at a different rate. But you can also focus on and taking care of your own community. A lot of other communities are kind of having their own in-house rating platform, or they call it engage to earn. This allows you to do that again agnostically, and you can come in and you will do it with. I think we're going to be using I'm yeah, you're catching me this at a hard time because initially we were going to do everything through USDC. I think things have kind of stabilized with Silvergate and SVB. And so we may still go back to using USDC, but you can actually pay people to do raids from your for your community. The other parts is we do have other functions and features of it, which is we do have factions. Factions are super important to us because again, we're building a network. We want to make sure that the people you're talking to are the people you relate to and you vibe with. So whether you're, an alpha caller and a degen who just loves flipping NFTs, we have a trait-based faction that does that. If you're a dev, if you're a spaces host, if you are, let's see what the other factions are off the top of my head. If you are a marketing investor, all of those things are possible because what we'll have is a separate channel for each one of them so that people can learn, grow, they can mentor, mentee, they can connect. Because a lot of times when we go to projects, sometimes you need to have more than one and you guys can go in together, whether and then sort things out. So it's a beautiful place that we really look forward to continue to build. Our mint for it, we actually did it in a way that's a little bit different than a traditional NFT project. We were really focused on ownership, and so the first two tiers, which are listed, are tier one and tier two, and those are actually open. So you can mint that, and the idea behind that is, again, we're not looking to have this be a collection. We're really looking at it in terms of ownership. So the same way you look at Netflix, the same way you look at um, other subscription-based models, we want to make sure that people have the access to the platform, and we don't want to limit them because of the supply. Now we do have certain things that are super beneficial, like half the fees, which is our tier four. That's a limited supply. And the benefit to that is you go from 15% to 7.5. Now, what's cool about this too is that a lot of people have been utilizing Fiverr for Web3, but the problem is that it really hit or miss. It's better to have a Web3 platform for Web3 jobs, and so that's what the focus of this is. And then the tier five is our one of ones, which are super cool. What that allows you to do is basically you can post any gig, any raid that you want, and you're not limited whatsoever, and there's no fees. Um, so you go from 15 to 7 to 0. And then the other cool part is we love the art. The art's pretty fly. It's really funny because Jonathan was known as the guy in the hoodie at the coffee shop while he was building all his businesses, and he kind of took ownership of it, and he, created the art that you see today if you're looking at it. So if it's just hoodies, HOODIES.xyz, and you can actually see them displayed, and the art's fly. Like it's really cool. The one thing that's awesome about working within the project is that we can help shape it. So Pyro and I have spent quite a bit of time saying yes, no, absolutely not, or can you add these things? And it's really come form, and it's been kind of a, we feel like parents, right? We've kind of seen this from infancy to toddler, and obviously for Mint, we hope to shape it even more. But we're very proud of what we're done because it's been a while, and we've put a lot of time and effort into it as well. What in this Pyro? Drop some more alpha for us.
I don't have any. I'm boring. Oh, okay. So
This is all Pyro.
I'll tell you a little bit about that.
This is her baby.
This was, this is the very beginning. So founders cards have already minted. The beauty of those are there will only ever be 1,000. And Jonathan didn't need startup money like a lot of people in the space need to run a project. So we wanted to give people something that would obviously benefit them and then benefit the people. I'm a huge OG supporter, like ridiculous. And so it's kind of like that, I would say. What the founders cards are is it's actually a $500 deposit, if you will, on your business. But it's not only that, because once you use it, then it still has a ton of other perks. So we're also doing in-house financing. It's more like just a payment plan for these businesses. So to get a similar business at a place like Fiverr would easily cost you anywhere from about 7 to like 12,000 for one of these SaaS-based products, businesses. Except you don't get a community, you don't get a dashboard, you don't get custom copy or marketing material. You do not have the option to purchase guaranteed customers. You also don't have help like organic growth or marketing either. So cut the price at least at a minimum by a third. So if you have a founder's card, the price is $2,250 or $125 a month for 18 months. And so that's zero financing charge, no interest, nothing like that. And we just wanted to make it to where it was more in reach for more people. And then if you don't have a founder's card, you'll still be able to finance, but it's just more. I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, so I apologize for that. I think it's like $375 or somewhere. Then we also did a thing, and we're actually still running it. So we will mint the businesses starting April 17th. So if you collect 5 founders cards between now and then, you actually get a free business. Now it's not free because you're obviously paying for the founders cards, but 5 times 5 is $2,500 versus $2,750 if you don't have. Save a little bit of money there, and then you would have the 5 founders cards. The founders cards will get a portion of the profits that the businesses bring in every month. So right now, like we'll start off with a smaller. We're going to mint 500 businesses. We kicked off. See, we sent out 85 yesterday, and we had 23. So we have just over 100 running right now, or like, yeah, I guess running right now. It's kind of crazy. But so we'll have another 500 added to that. And then there's nothing stopping us from keeping scaling, right? At some point we could have 5,000, 10,000 and whatever. And the difference between this and most is usually as NFT projects add the series or whatnot, usually devalues the rest. It just, fractionalizes things and stuff. This does not because each business is standalone. So just how you have like Sam's and Costco and all of those, as long as you have enough demand for these things, you're fine. And since we're global, it's not hard. I'll give you a for instance of what one of these businesses might be. And that would be like Gym App Now. So what that is, if I ended up minting Gym App Now, I get a dashboard, I get my target audience, I also get information as to where I can find my target audience and then how to sell them. So I would be looking for a gym owner and I would go to them and say, hey, do you happen to have a custom app? Of course, most of them are going to say, nope, because that would cost me 10 to 15 grand in time. And we all know it, if you've ever dealt with that, it takes a lot of time to get an app actually published through the Google Play and the Apple Store. So what we do is, or what I say is, okay, how about you pay me $74 a month and I can turn your current website into an app. They're going to go, what else is in it for me? And I'm going to tell them, instead of only relying on email to reach their patrons, their clients, their customers, their patients, whatever niche it is that we call those, they actually can send them push notifications. So if I'm a gym owner, I can say, hey, if you get your booty in here and work out on Tuesday, you save $15 in the month of May, or whatever, because your interaction with push notifications is about 87% versus email is like 1.2 to 2%. And so, of course, they're going, oh, well, now I get to reach my clientele a lot easier. Sign me up. And it's super simple. So everybody you sell to, obviously, you're gaining $74 a month. And that's about as easy as it is to sell. It's not hard, in my opinion. I've started and ran 3 businesses from the ground up, and it's probably the easiest thing I could ever sell, if I'm being honest. But so the founders cards, you will get a portion of every single business running. You also get the added perks of being whitelisted for the businesses. They also got to pick their 3 favorite niches for their business. So we tried to match those with them. I'm trying to think what the other ones are. The truth is we will only continue to add benefits to those founders cards for the rest of forever. Those are our OGs. Those are the people that started and believed in us. And so that would be the founders cards. And right now, there's less than 300 left. We did close off mint to public, but if you buy one on secondary, you're able to get any additional ones that you want from us until we're out for the price of $500 each. Like I said, it's a $500 discount when you go to buy your business. You can't stack them. So you can't buy 4 and take $2,000 off of the business. You can take $500 off each business, or like I said, you can buy 5 and get a free business. You do have to go up to the 5 to make it count for that, but that would be what the founders cards are.
That was a simple answer, right?
I'm sorry.
Tease asked, that was a simple answer, right? Go ahead.
I know, I'm so sorry. I just ramble on. So the whole community actually doesn't get in on it, just the people that have the founders cards. And Shao, have we actually done the actual? It's a very small portion.
Yeah, it's very small. I think it's a few percent. But obviously that will grow over time, and as the businesses grow and the community of business owners expands, as I said, we went from 20 to over 100. That will grow. And I think a lot of times when people hear like, oh, how do you do that? Do you do staking? Do you do all this stuff? Actually, all we do is we just approve it on the blockchain so that we register your founder's card. That founder card will always uphold and keep that reward. So if you ever do sell it, the rewards go with it. And
you haven't claimed it.
To make sure you claim before you sell, otherwise you've lost out. But yeah, so it's not a security. So we've made sure to like cover all of our bases with regards to the business model and making sure that you guys get what you have. No, we haven't yet give out the complete numbers for what those rewards are, but it should be a few points of the entire revenue.
Less than, I can tell you, is if you were running a business and having anybody like manage any certain thing, it's less than the typical fees that you would pay. Jonathan just made it that way on, like, he did all of that on purpose. But once you consider how many we'll have up and running, there are people they're like, what if I just want a founder's card and not a business? Obviously, you're going to have some form of passive income, but it's going to take quite a while for us to have that many businesses up and running, and then for that portion to really add up and be something, pretty big. There was I don't think we have access to that calculator anymore because I had to take the Husl brief down. But we do have, and I can get it back up pretty soon, but we have a calculator where we let you type in, we let you play with the numbers, like, okay, if I had this and it did this, I had this many customers, what would I make? And then I think the founder's card breakdown is in there as well.
Essentially like an LTV calculator, lifetime value analysis. Mm-hmm. So you basically put your attrition in, your chargebacks, and the different revenue streams coming in, as well as cost basis. It would give you your number.
So there's within that portion that's taken off there, I want to say it's like 20% or less. I think so,
in terms of the fees, yeah.
Yes, and now what that covers though is, like I said, that's all your customer service. Like you as a business owner don't have to do any of that. You don't have to do any software updates. You don't have to handle anything, basically.
There's no fees for hosting and all those overhead costs that you would traditionally absorb as a business owner. Yeah. All of that's taken care of in that 20%.
Yeah. So it's not a large thing. I want to say our largest person right now has 6 customers, maybe. I'm trying to do the math on that real quick. And anyway, he's grossed just over $900 in like 2 months, 2.5 months.
2.5 months.
So it's really not a large chunk taken off. But of course, it will add up. You know, if we had 10,000 businesses up and running and only 1,000 people are getting to split that small portion, it's not going to be bad. It's not going to be chump change. And currently, we did listen to those. That's something else, is the community really gets to get involved and tell us how they feel, what they like. So they have they get to have a voice in who we send charity money to. And then also they were like, hey, we don't want all of the things to be split between all 1,000 cards because not all 1,000 cards are owned right now. So we do have it set to where the 700 and what that are minted and out, those are the ones that get to split it for now. And then it'll just be, you know, as more people mint and have them, then of course it will expand to the 1,000. But for now, it's a smaller split.
Yeah, I noticed it said like 140 some holders. So are you guys staking them somewhere, or is that like the actual holder count?
That is the actual holder count, I believe. And that's what Shao was saying. We don't do, I cannot think of the word right now.
Don't stake them.
Custodial staking. I'm so sorry, I could not.
It's not a hard wallet. Those are actual, it's passive.
Now, I'll tell you why on that too is we started out, we did a beta program because we also didn't want people just to have to buy into our dreams, our hopes and dreams. We wanted to be able to prove it. So we did a beta program that you had to do 15 of the founders cards to get into. So we have one gentleman that holds 25, we have one lady that holds 20, and then we have about 19 or so. I'm not sure. I really don't know how many people hold at least 15.
One of them,
so,
our biggest well is actually in the chat. Daspic's here.
He is. Where is
We
he?
just like to give shout out to any of our community members who've come over, visited the Discord, and just give them respect and flowers for representing.
Yeah,
how's it going,
Daspic? Showed up strong tonight.
Yeah, so I mean that's the beauty of it. The thing is, those are going to just get more and more lucrative to have because, like I said, there will only ever be 1,000. So our floor price on those went up to about $700 just here recently.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what it is now, just because I don't have all the time in the world to keep up with it. But I know just last week there were only 4 listed, so people are definitely holding on to them.
Yeah, I saw it was like 1% listed or something.
Yeah, it's definitely very small.
Yeah, there's. I think. Hold on.
We cut off public. We cut off public just as an added benefit to the current holders, the current founder card holders, because then of course that gave them a platform to be able to, if they want, should they choose to, I mean, you could buy one for 500 and list it for 600, should you choose. No, I mean, obviously you're going to be out your 500 till it sells, but you know, that gave them an opportunity to make some money and arbitrage really, if they chose to do that. So.
Yeah, and they did prior to the airdrop. They sold quite a few. I will want to add, just because I know you guys are metric people. That's what we do with Crypto Monks. We look at metrics. What you can see is that one, there's not many listed. Two, the amount of secondary isn't very high. But that's because we've been so fortunate for the people who have bought and invested have stuck with us and are diamond hands. So that tells us, you know, we've have a lot of people who have seen things through, and a lot of that credit goes to Pyro because she does handle our community, and she's brought in a lot of investors within, and you know they've been very dedicated and very loyal, and they've actually are starting to see those benefits come to fruition with the community, the resell of the cards if that's what they intended to do. Some it's sold as high as 0.48, which is closer to 1,000. Or 800, sorry, and and made profits, and then bought back in, because technically speaking, if you held a founder's card, you could actually grab them from our existing marketplace at the original price of 500. So in order to get into that, you actually have to buy one off a secondary. So that's what's kind of driven secondary as a whole. But yeah, that's also when you look at the businesses, you will see 0 secondary. But obviously, there's money coming in because of the mint of the founders card, as well as the mint and the businesses on April 27th. And just to add a little bit more dates too, the 25th of Was it 25th of March? Why do I feel like no? It's April 17th is the businesses. March 27th is hoodies. Our mint, and it's going to start around $30 to $60 for tier 1, tier 2, and then go up 150 to 300 to 500.
So are the businesses going to work as publicly tradable NFTs as well?
Yes, but we will mainly be focused on utilizing our marketplace to evaluate them, because that way you'll have a little bit more due diligence versus just using OpenSea. Because when you look at OpenSea, you can see and track all the revenue, but it won't be aggregated for you to utilize level of analysis.
Analytics and things. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's a pretty cool business and opportunity. And again, that's why I want to make sure to share with you guys, because you guys have given me so much.
Sure.
You guys have given me so much. So I want to make sure it's things that I work on and I've been a part of. I wanted to share with this community as well. If there's nothing else, we can wrap this up a little bit early. But yeah, we really appreciate you guys taking the time to listen to us. Feel free to stop in the Discord. We're definitely friends with a lot of you. Miss Lynn is, a good friend of ours who hangs out with us. Pyro, as well as you can see Amber here, are part of the Egg Collective, which is also another. I like to think of it as a partner project for CryptoMonks as well. I remember hearing about them in the same AMA Discord inside of here as well as theirs. And so,
one of our partner projects for hoodies.
And hoodies too. So, we love being inclusive and we love involving you guys. Stags, if you guys are interested, we can always talk about if you want to, are you interested in hoodies and being a partner in our project? We are kind of capping it off soon. So if you guys are, let us know. And then we're happy to go over some of the details. And if it's a good fit, we can move forward.
Yeah, that sounds good. We can definitely have a chat about that. There'd be a few people that we'd have
Looking
to
hear
speak
this
to. So
sexy
maybe
Australian voice.
I know. I'm like, come back.
Can you guys hear
He's
me?
like, I'm not going to
All
talk to you anymore.
Yeah, you're coming.
Yeah, we can
think
hear you.
it's-
Stags.
Oh yes, sweet,
Coming
sweet.
through
Yeah,
clear
so we can
beautiful.
definitely do it. But we'd have to have a chat to a few different people inside of Monkz. So
Stags.
Stags?
We're actually considering doing a VC training where Stags just reads to us now. It's in the works.
Smart. I'll come every day. When and where I'll be here.
We can get him to do a bedtime story with Jelly.
He should. That's why I love it. I mean, with her Australian accent too, I just love it. There's just something about it, I'm telling you.
Well, her charm comes right through the mic, so
He's
helps
adorable.
too.
So Australian women aren't complete assholes, is what you're saying?
Not at all.
All the men are.
I mean, actually, she's funny. Well, I don't know. I love her, so there's that. But she definitely knows how to tell somebody where to go and how to put them in their place. But that's part of my love for her.
Yeah, it's part of the charm. The same way with Pyro. He sounds nice until you get on her bad side.
Oh, stop telling my secret.
I don't know if that's a secret.
Truth is, to be honest with you guys, CryptoMonks, I know you guys are smart. I don't know. I just have to be honest with you. There's some projects I look at and I'm like, okay, they're a bunch of degenerates. It is what it is. But
we're intelligent degenerates.
yeah. Hey, I would fall in that category too, so it's cool. But I've been talking about this for, like I said, almost a year. And I'm just now starting to see the light bulb come on for some people. And that's okay. It's definitely just not one of those projects that you can hear about. I hate even calling it a project. It makes me want to puke, because it's a full company. It's a business, and it's really just pulling a Web 2 company onto the blockchain and putting Web 3 inside it and making it work. Jonathan actually sold a business when we first kicked off, and it took him like 7 weeks to sell that business because of all of the paperwork that he had to go collect. And he was like, look, the blockchain solves like 80% of this. And I'm like, yeah, very true. So your profit loss will be right there for your taxes. You could send your CPA your blockchain address, and they could, have such a heads up. And all of the software, all the tax software that has been being created over the last few years, You know, it's awesome, the fact that you could have all of that right then and there. And yeah, I don't know, there's many perks, and it's also just going to grow and be innovative as the blockchain continues to take over and go. But that's only if you believe in it, like a crazy person like me. So
Ultimately, I mean, obviously, we're all part of the blockchain, and we definitely believe in it as the crypto monks. But I will tell you, that's actually the end goal of what Jonathan's trying to do is actually wrap existing, IRL businesses, and then put them on the blockchain so that it helps minimize due diligence and the bureaucracy that requires. And that as a service will be, phenomenal because talk about onboarding, it'll be the same way people are talking about your pink slips for your car, your deeds for your real estate, your homes and properties, whether it's commercial or residential. It'll just be something else that we do in our daily lives, just disrupt, continue to disrupt industries and how it's being done today.
for sure, for sure.
Yeah,
All
well,
right.
thank you
Well,
guys for your
fantastic.
time.
Thank
If you have any other questions, we're more than happy
you
to.
guys for
You can
coming
jump on
out
our Discord, follow up
today.
with us. I believe our Twitters are attached to our profiles, but you can always ping me. I'm always in this Discord. I'm not always actively participating because it's been a lot of work. It's been like 18, 20-hour days to get these businesses out the door. A couple, yesterday, and so I definitely am looking forward when I have a little bit more time to coming back and being an active participant in all of the scrums and the different meetings that we have because I just find this community to be so fantastic because they just keep adding value. Otherwise, thank you guys for your time.
Wonderful. Thank you guys for coming out
Appreciate
Yeah,
you
today.
guys.
appreciate you
If
guys.
you
Yeah, I
guys,
appreciate y'all
I got
coming
something
out.
else to
It's
try and
awesome.
research now.
if you guys,
Right?
He's like, great, great.
sure.
I love it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if
if
It's
you
you're
want
so
to hear
into
true.
more,
crypto,
you want to hear more
Gotta
of,
do that.
you want to hear more Pyro, check us out on Monday nights. You can hear her talking
Gosh.
Okay.
with our wonderful different guests that we have. At some point in time, if PJ ever has time to, maybe I'll bring him out. He can talk
Is
about.
that y'all's podcast or
It's our
That
weekly
is,
spaces that we have.
oh
On
in
yeah.
your Discord or on
Well,
Twitter?
Actually, it's
that's
on
the
Twitter.
show that we do, that F'd by NFTs, where we just like highlight a really kick butt project that's doing really
The
well.
Gotcha,
the
gotcha. Cool.
reason why we had it is because, as things kind of turned in Q4 and a lot of projects rugged, we wanted to basically provide a platform and opportunity for people to come and learn more about projects that have tested, are battle tested and have persevered and innovated through the bull.
Wilder
Excuse me, the
World.
bear. And not, and so, I actually coined it hashtag unrugged. And so, Supreme Kongs was our second guest. They're a project that minted out in the bull and then rugged, I think, in March of 2022. And then Cyrus took it over, and we talked about it with him and how he overcame all the different obstacles that he went through and their community went through, and how they were able to innovate and drive change and drive positivity where they're now a successful NFT project. And it just shows people the opportunities that there are in this space, that even though they may have negative experiences, you can flip around and make them completely positive, and not only can you build, but you can successfully do it. So just different fun things.
Now
But
I
yeah,
have to
feel
run
free
to
to,
my other meeting. Okay.
and then feel free to
All
tune
right.
into that, just because I think it's a great opportunity to listen to different projects. And again, if PJ ever has free time, I'm more than happy to have him come back and talk and uh, interview him as well. But I think Pyro just cut out. But yeah, so again, thank you for your time. Appreciate you all, and look forward to seeing you guys around the block chain.
All right, thank you guys.
Thanks,
It's
man.
time to start Crypto Corner here, so feel free to stick around.
No worries. Take care, guys.
I was trying to say that the whole time.